where we help auto repair shop owners just like you to achieve business success. So once again, we're going to be talking about productivity today, as per your request to hear some more about productivity. But in a slightly different manner than what we have discussed in our previous videos, because the obvious things to talk about here are how to increase your sold labor hours, how to make sure that the team has the ability to sell all of their labor hours, etc. But one of the things that you're probably not thinking about or isn't top of mind is things that can inhibit your team's general amount of motivation to come in and give you their best every single day. And what I'm talking about specifically here is, metaphorically changing the team's battery pack over. Now, what I mean here is I can give you a perfect example. Last week, we actually got all of our Workshop Whisperer team in from around Australia, and we even Zoomed one in from overseas. But we gathered everyone together in the same spot, which is not normal for us. Our team actually works remotely, all of us from each other. So we had 10 of us in the same room, one by Zoom. And the purpose of this get together wasn't just so that we could work together, but it was so that we could recharge everyone's battery packs. Now, there's been a lot going on in the world and in people's personal lives in the last, year, especially with COVID. And there are a number of people, and I'm sure you would recognize in your team, who might be running a bit low on energy levels. Now, them having a holiday will obviously help. But to get your team's combined team motivation up, you need to think about when the last time was that you actually got to spend time with them away from the workshop floor, away from phones ringing, away from customers walking in. Now, I'm not talking about just, having an hour for a team meeting. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about off-site, away from the business is closed, and you and your team are there in each other's company. And it's an opportunity for you as the owner to let them know where you want the business to go and why, and how you see each team member fitting in with that. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about changing the team's battery pack. Now, as the owner, it is your sole responsibility to convey where you want the business to go. So what direction you want for the business, when you intend to get to where you want to go, what it's going to look like. So you need to be able to describe it. And then what you see for each of the different roles in your business when you do arrive at this place that you're aiming for. So when we did this with our team last week, I shared with them my vision for what the business will look like in 3 years' time. And I shared with them how much revenue we intend the business to be taking in, how much profit we intend the business to be taking in, and what the business will look like in terms of how many players, how many team members we'll have inside each department. Now, you may think, well, this is fine for you, Rachel. You're running a coaching business and not an auto repair shop. But it's no different for my business than it is for your business. You need to create this time with your team where they are not distracted by anything else. You've got them there. They know that their needs are being taken care of. Yes, you're paying them, especially when they're employees. But it's your time to connect with them. And you will be surprised at just how reinvigorated the team becomes after you spend some time like this with them. So your team is actually looking for you to lead the way. That's the first thing. The second thing is they want to know that you can see and hear them. So if you involve them in your vision and describe to them how you see their role evolving or their part of the team evolving, if it's the workshop floor or if it's the service team or if it's your finance team with your bookkeeper and your accountant. Once you get that clear in your head and you can clearly convey that, your team, maybe for the first time, will understand how they fit in. And by having an offsite, you actually give them the opportunity to contribute to the vision as well. So hello to everybody that's here live. I'm just seeing all of you pop up there in the comments. Let me know if you're here live or let me know if you're catching the replay. So when you give them the opportunity to buy in, then they will actually start to envisage themselves in your business for years to come. If you don't do an exercise like this, what you'll have is your team members coming to work every day in the humdrum of just coming to work every day. They'll get their latest lot of job cards, they'll work on their cars, they'll get them out, they'll go home, and it'll be the same thing every single day. Now, I see many comments coming through the free Facebook group, Your Profitable Auto Repair Shop, saying, I'm having trouble motivating my team, I'm having trouble motivating myself. When it comes to the team, there's always lots of answers around incentivizing them with money, etc., etc. But what I can tell you will give your team a huge boost of power is involving them in the direction of the business, and getting them out of the workshop and into an offsite environment is the way to do it. Now, this doesn't mean that you take them to the pub and you sit around a table and you drink for hours. It's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a structured day where you make time to share with them your pre-prepared vision. So you've written it down, and then you ask them to contribute to how they then see their role over the same time period that you've relayed your vision to them over. You could also have team activities. We actually had 2 days where we got the team in, and at the end of the second day, we went off and did a paint and sip class. So we had wine and cheese and had an artist show us all how to paint a painting, which is only purely for fun, but it was a great exercise for the team to enjoy together. You might do go-karting or some other kind of team activity. But what I've noticed in the days since we've come back from our offsite meeting is that our team is way more connected, and there is an absolute flurry of work going on in the background. And the comments from the team members to me were, we finally understand where you are taking us on this journey, where you want this business to go. I can clearly see where I fit in now and where I can help. So remember, if your brain's saying to you, your business is different to mine, they might look different on the outside, but on the inside, your team requires the same thing that my team requires, which is connection, clarity, and the possibility of feeling valued. So our teams are the same in that regard, and you can give it to them exactly the same way. Now, some of our engine room clients actually close their businesses on a weekday to go off and do this, and their business does not suffer. So if you're worried about that as well, then, weigh it up. Do you want to close the business on a Friday, for instance, to take your team off site, or do you want to pay them on a Saturday and let the business trade its full 5 days? Either way, it's up to you, but make sure that you do this at least once or twice a year. So as I mentioned, yes, your team can refuel by having a holiday, but they won't get the same injection of motivation as they will if you take them off site and tell them all about where you want the business to go. So I'd love to know your thoughts about your vision and how you might be going to convey it. And let me know once you have taken your team off site and tell me what the results are. All right, I hope you found this useful. I trust that you have. We'll speak to you again soon.